before the whistle, the bell went for the players to come out, he used to get a match and a cigarette in his right hand, and just creep into the bathroom and have a quick drag before he went out. But Mike Bailey was probably the hardest tackler. He didn't just tackle with his legs, he tackled with his body. And he had a pigeon chest and he was very, very tough. Derek Parkin spent a long time there at the club. But John Richards and Dugan was a great partnership at Strike Force.
Well, Arsenal, Bobby, full of names, full of big names.
Yeah, this is a strong Arsenal side, this. You know, Bob Wilson in goals, Pat Rice. Peter Storey was supposed to be the hardest man in the game at that time. He got himself into a lot of trouble, you know, with his tackling. But a good player nevertheless. Frank McClintock, I think, was captain. Geordie Armstrong, great character, Charlie George. John Radford, centre forward, and a lovely player, Ray Kennedy, a great striker, but a really, really nice lad and a good player. And of course, number 11, George Graham, the playmaker of the team.
1971, then, the year of decimal currency arrived and Maggie Thatcher stopped free milk in schools. What a strange thing to do. Here we are with Wolves v Arsenal. The commentator is Barry Davis.
John Radford and Ray Kennedy will get Arsenal away, playing right to left. They both scored in this fixture last season when Arsenal won by 3 goals to nothing, and really that was the platform for their run-in for the league title, having lost the previous Saturday to Derby County. Firmly hit cross coming back again to Armstrong. Still in, but not now. Off Derek Parkin for the corner. Roberts coming up fairly slowly. Number 10 there is Kennedy, marked by Munro. Radford coming across, headed away by Munro. Parkin. Not a good one for Parkin. Graham. Very, very messy for Wolves in that 18-yard box. And McCall really summed it all up. He had nowhere to put the ball, put out to the corner. Graham moving away to the far post, so it's John Radford. Kennedy, the Arsenal player, facing it. Roberts up. Away by Shaw. Nelson. Bailey. Chance for a break left with Hibbert. Number 8. Waxtop going left as well. Number 11. McCanny on the far post. Waxtop tending to hold it a bit in these situations. Awkward one for Nelson. Played it safe. Bailey going to try the long throw. Must have heard me. Waxtop. That's an awkward cross. Richards underneath it. Wilson missed it. So did Hibbert in terms of the goal. But the goalkeeper was fouled anyway as Hibbert runs back.
I must say, Bobby, looking at the old Molineux, I can understand why you would enjoy playing there. Everything's right on top of you, isn't it?
Oh, it's a great sound.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Terrific crowd. And they had behind the terrace on the right, one of the biggest terraces I've ever seen. It seemed to go up forever and ever. I think they used to squeeze maybe something like 20,000 people in there.
Yeah.
The South Bank, they called it, didn't they?
You enjoyed it too, obviously. Well, of course you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy the South Bank on a Tuesday when we were running up it. Bill used to make us run up there with weights in his hands.
Against Storey. And is now calling both players over to issue stern words. But again, the referee using discretion as the better part of booking. Now a chance for him to do so. Taking it away. And the linesman signaling anyway that one Arsenal player was offside. Rice, Storey, making life difficult for themselves in that corner. Goal kick. Linesman still wanting the referee's attention for something, and the referee's going to come over and have a word with him.
Roger.
He knows where the camera is, you see.
Oh, God. You watched this.
You watched it. Okay.
The smile will come out at the end.
He's an unobtrusive guy, this referee, isn't he, Bobby?
Roger Kirkpatrick. I remember him as clear as crystal. Yeah. There's some referees actually used to think that the crowd came to see them play, you know.
And he was one of them.
Well, I used to fall out with him quite often. He was always trying to take attention. You know. I always remember when I was at Preston and we played at Blackpool and he was refereeing and he pulled a muscle. And I don't know, it was because I was sitting on the touchline, but he made a point of coming over to me to ask me what he should do. You know? and I said, well, I don't know what you should do. I've got enough problems of my own. I said, I don't need to be thinking about referees. He said, oh, well, I better go off then. I said, well, you better go off. And he left the field. But he always seemed to be at the front whenever there was a bit of attention. Roger Kirkpatrick, I forgot about him.
Bailey. Richards. Short forming an extra man on the touchline. Bailey square of Richards. Dugan making the run across the box. Bailey has now gone on in the inside right position rather. McCallion. Going across the face of 8 Arsenal defenders. McCallion letting it go, Dugan letting it go, but nobody there to do something with it. Bailey tried. Richards. That's good cover there. Hibbett. And that came off George Graham. Wilson having to be very, very nippy, getting down indeed. Came off George Graham's foot. Wilson got down and very sharpish. Story. Move for the return. Just a bit long. McCallion. Dugan in the inside left position. This is Richards. Bailey. Hibbett. Shaw outside him. Now Radford for Arsenal. Radford moving away right. And Armstrong quite literally beating himself. Roberts. Graham. Kennedy. Made some space for himself and a good shot. A fine goal. Brilliant.
A great goal by Ray Kennedy, but I was still laughing about George Armstrong. He beat himself, didn't he?
That was a great strike, that, Ray Kennedy, because he was a left-footed player, really. He struck that with his right foot, didn't he? Hey? Goalie never saw it. Terrific goal, yeah. Yeah. Right foot, that's unusual, right? Really great goal.
Picked his spot
But we were laughing at Geordie, weren't we?
Oh, we were.
He was in two minds whether to hit it with his left foot or his right foot, and he decided to fall down instead. I'll have a laugh at that when he sees it.
Sort of thing you pay the men up front for. They're working on their own with very little to feed on, and they produce a goal out of nothing. There's the scorer, Ray Kennedy, his 8th goal in the league. Hibbett. Parkin. Looking for Richards. Roberts for Taylor. Bailey. Mike Bailey took the first time shot with his left foot, although Bob Wilson was quite sure that it was going wide. Snow coming down with a vengeance at the end of this first half. Just about a month early. Referee checking his watch as Wilson takes the kick. And that, in fact, is the end of the half, in which Wolves have had more of the ball, and Arsenal made a goal out of nothing, scored by Ray Kennedy, and a beautiful goal too.
So Arsenal with that slim lead at half.
Christmas card scene, which looks very nice, but isn't very nice for either the crowd or indeed for the players. And it's Wolves to kick off at the start of the second half, with the wind now blowing from the right-hand corner as we look into the faces of the Arsenal players. The two teams being divided by the only direct shot of the first half, scored by Ray Kennedy, with his unfavoured foot. He normally prefers his left, but that one went in like a rocket with his right. George Armstrong. With a canny play there by Dugan. Runs to Radford. Got no help, reinforcements coming from Pat Rice and Charlie George. Shaw. Ball off Sam Nelson. McCall coming for it. Bailey. McCall. Jockeying position going on the 18-yard line. Dugan, Lukacs ball, Rock. Richards was surely held then by John Roberts. Referee calling it 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
So you think that should have been a penalty, Kenny?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could see he was trying to get, well, he was ahead of the defender. And he's tugged at his shirt.
Yeah.
And John's very quick in the box.
Definite penalty that, I can't understand it. When Barry Davis said 6 and 2 threes, you know,
yes.
but it wasn't. One player's in front of the other and he's pulled him back.
Yeah.
It was being covered by Richards. Firm tackle by Shaw. Richards trying to make it, covering header by Charlie George. Dugan shot, side netting. Derek Dugan coming in on the byline. As it's called, although technically the goal line. Bradford. Shaw. Linesman's flag up, free kick against Roberts. Very quickly taken and almost threading its way through. A bit casual there by Sammy Nelson. With Waxar. Fine shot and another brilliant goal!
Deflection there, Kenny, or go straight in?
No, he went straight in, Dickie, that. He had a brilliant left foot, and I think he turned inside there, and it's exactly the same place as Ray foot is. It's a great strike. Keeper's got no chance. And Bob's in there.
Here we are.
Yeah, he's just looked up. He was a great striker.
Bent that as well.
Yeah.
I think that'll have bent a little.
Do you know he could put a ball on a tanner from 50 yards?
Really?
Superb left foot.
Roger is looking at the goalkeeper to see if he's all right. Bob Wilson.
When he's fallen, I think. Crashed after the dive.
And there's the man who scored the goal, Kenny Wagstaff.
Situation with 8 minutes of the second half gone. And David Wagstaff's first goal of the season. Radford to Kennedy. Armstrong. Right. Could go straight. Armstrong, Radford waiting in the middle. Here's Radford! Again, Clark's not looking too happy with the positioning. David Wagstaff has gone down. Knock in the back. The referee wanting a new ball too. Nice piece of play by one of the characters of the game. Wasn't a bad through ball to Radford either. But Wagstaff is on his feet after all that, and we've gone back for the goal kick. Bit of virtuoso from Roger Kirkpatrick, the referee. a couple of birds in on the egg too, of the featherby variety. Pat Rice. Armstrong to Kennedy, to George. They wanted Park to come for it and he didn't, and Parkin had to concede the corner. The understanding at the back in this Wolves side is not very good. Doesn't seem to be too much confidence. Just moved away, coming, well, it was coming to Armstrong. It was McCanniog who got there first. And John Radford going to take the longer throw. Another waiter's on the edge of the 6-yard box. Graham for the back header. It was a bit too long for him. Still there waiting, and they're going to have to wait. That's a good ball from Wagstaff, but he's hurt as he ran away. The ball with Hibbert. Richards just ahead of him. Hibbert. Yes!
So Kenny picked the other corner, didn't he?
Well, it's a great left foot. But they've got the bit between the teeth now, haven't they, Wolves?
Yeah.
And I mean, Arsenal are the champions and they are the cup holders, so they won the double the year before, so that's a hard pill for them to swallow. But a great strike, that, Kenny. Great strike.
Yeah,
what a pass as well.
That was his forte, Dave, and
beautiful.
we always worked on that. I know people say, oh yeah. Well, we did. I used to get on that right side all. And
Nice little feint there
Waggy's
to
left foot was superb. Yeah, I think it was it McNabb?
Yeah.
Or Sammy Nelson. I think it was Sammy. It was Sammy that was there at left back. And I'd got him on his wrong foot.
So the League and Cup champions,
Yes.
double winners,
Yeah.
Arsenal will not be very happy about that, would they?
No, they're not be pleased. But of course, that's a spur, isn't it, really, to the other side?
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you can beat the champions in it.
Oh.
So the situation of last week, when Wolves came back from a goal down to be 2-1 up on Derby, has repeated itself. Question of whether Arsenal can pull back now themselves. 3 defeats behind them and a 4th at this moment staring them in the face. Dugan. Bit of a sandwich and good cover. He's made it!
Was that a cross or was that a... Did he go for a goal, do you think, Kenny?
I don't think he knew himself. I think it was like a cross shot. I thought Bobby might have got an answer to that one, but it was a lovely sight when it hit the side net and inside the side net. He took it very well, and he's got between 2 players. He's looking for a penalty there, Derek, knowing Derek. But he's twisted on it lovely. It just gives a bit of cushion that we needed.
3-1.
Derek Dugan makes it 3, and the crowd shout already, we want 4. And they don't mind if the snow comes all over them, provided they're supporters of Wolves. And the match living up to the history between these two teams of scoring goals. Didn't look like it in the first half, but what a change in the second when the wind was behind Wolves. Story. Radford. Parkin with the ball. 2 goals in 2 minutes for Wolves, and for the record they've scored 4 3 times this season against Nottingham Forest, Southampton and ADO Holland. Long with the win. Richards going in. Wilson off his line well. Graham. Radford. Charlie George. He's certainly got to come forward more now, and so is Graham. It has gone for a corner. It's Dugan, the player, who's gone down. And he seems to be rather badly hurt too. Bit of a face of agony.
I think it was a Peter Story tackle, wasn't it, Kenny?
What, when the ball went after a corner?
Yeah.
And when it was chasing, I thought, oh no, here we go. I thought, I've got to get there first, get my foot around the ball first.
Should have done what I did, let him have it.
I was thinking about it, I thought, no, it was too near the supporters. we got a corner from it, but when you see Peter coming in, it's quite frightening.
Yeah.
Derek Dugan, yeah, I think he looks to me like he pulled a muscle or something.
He looked that way, you know. He looked like a groin.
Yeah, but he stays on anyway.
He wanted a bit of...
He's enjoying this, he wouldn't want to go off after this, would he?
No, that's right.
Okay.
Again, the wind will help David Wagstaff's corner curl in. Dugan is underneath it. Well taken by Bob Wilson, never took his eye off it for a second that time. George. Not hit hard enough. Roberts and Dugan. The linesman suggesting it should be a free kick against Roberts, or is he? Yes, he is. Referee in accord. Short. Macanio. Dugan let the ball to the right. That's a penalty. Got to be a penalty. Turn round Roberts. No question. Referee let the ball do the work, and as he turned, Roberts was there. And he went straight over his leg. Kenny Hibbert with the ball, giving it to Macanio. John Roberts looking very unhappy with life, but I don't think Roger Kirkpatrick had any choice. Macanio against Wilson. 4-1.
And Jim McCallick was always the penalty taker, was he, Kenny?
Yeah, we'd share it if he wasn't in the side, then I'd take it. But you can see there I picked the ball up, because I might have taken the previous one, but Jimmy watched out on the spot, so I got no alternative to throw him the ball. But he was a great penalty taker. He'd got this step just before he struck the ball, and the keeper sort of grounded. His feet were sort of stuck to the floor. Yeah. But he had this knack of just turning his foot at the last minute and putting it out of the corner. It was a great penalty taker.
They haven't conceded 4 goals before this season. Previous to this, their worst was 3-1 against Manchester United at Liverpool. Arsenal throw. Parkin, who was hurt as he made the tackle. Though he cut his knee as he fell, down was a little bit hard at that end of the ground. Referee not happy, wants to make sure that Derek Parkin doesn't want attention, or if he does, he's to go off the field to get it. There's Sammy Chung at the top of the picture. But with Redford about to take the throw, he's not going to go off. Parkin. That's an awkward one. Parks over the top. Pat Rice, number 2. The corner on the left, the ball having crossed over the crossbar on the left side of the goal. As we look at it. There's the jockeying for position, Graham, number 11. And it's going to him. McClintock completely missed his kick. Boyd and getting number 7. Got Wagstaff to his right, just behind him. Cross is going to be the better ball, and he'll get it from the corner. Bob Wilson peering through the snow, blowing a bit. Must feel particularly cold when you've just conceded 4 goals. Graham missing a header. Richards who got the final touch, and it went there.
Duke getting a second goal.
Well, I thought it was Derrick's, but if you noticed, John put his hands up and claimed it. So I don't know what happened actually in the dressing room after that, but I wasn't too worried. It was
I'm amazed with all the fans coming onto the ground.
Oh, they were marvellous, the kids. Every time we've scored, if you've noticed, they've come on.
Ah, yeah, Richards gets a touch. Yeah. Does he not? He doesn't get a touch. There we are.
I'm going to say you got a good eyesight there, Dicky. It'll be in the books, whether Duke got to or not. But that was a great feeling. I mean, we knew we'd got the game at 4, but that one was just like the icing on the cake. The fans were superb.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with kids coming on the field if it's for the right reason.
Of course.
There was because they were happy, weren't they?
And no coppers around to...
Not at all.
No?
Not at all.
Wouldn't need it. Okay.
Charlie George giving it away. Just looked for shadow himself, Charlie George. Hibbert making the run. Graham. Fine piece of play by George Graham. Hibbert keeping it in. Dugan waiting on the 6-yard line. With Wilson now. Goal kick. Bob Wilson, I think one of the unhappiest men in the Midlands. 5 goals by Stoke last September. 5 goals by Wolves this November. Hibbert. Wagstaff underneath it, too long. An Arsenal player down. This is in fact John Roberts.
He's back in shot again. Referee.
Who started it all off with the press.
There seem to be a lot of injuries. Seem to be knocks and things in this match.
Well, it's cold, and if you don't get the pace of the game, you know, and you don't get your blood coursing through your veins like you should because of your athletes, you will get injuries like pulls and little niggles, etc. There's no way that Wolves will be injured because of injury or fatigue or anything like that. They'd play all night if they could. But Arsenal, yeah, they've never got into this game at all, really. And yet they had the chance.
And you didn't mind the conditions at all, Kenny, did you, at this point?
The conditions were super. I loved conditions like that. I think it helped us, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I felt that at half-time, if it got heavier, the snows, somehow, I don't know what it is about it, but we simply just took over. We just took control. We played the best side in the league over the last year, being champions. And it was a great scalp for us.
Oh,
Okay. Well, a 30-metre manager for sure will play it pretty close. Story. George McClintock going on, setting a fine example of trying to bring Arsenal back into this game. Graham, Bradford. Graham, coming to Armstrong. The cue's on the far post. Staying with his man, Armstrong getting the cross in. Radford beaten by Monroe. George. Dugan. Richards to McCannion. Richards going out to the right. Dugan is left. McCannion's shot. Wilson well on his 6-yard line. Jim McCannion's shot. players really giving the impression they know it's all over. Bailey. Ibbett. Caliog is offside marginally, but he was. The linesman was right level with him. Couldn't have been very much in it, though. George. George. Armstrong. Story making a run down the middle. Kennedy, good try with the left foot. And does. Good save. Bacalio. Monroe. Wolves come forward again. The Gunners have never recovered, not surprisingly, from the shell hacking that was put in on them in those 28 minutes at the start of this half. Long one from Rice, but Radford is offside. From George, rather, to Radford, who was offside. And Roger Kirkpatrick brings the game to an end. The first time Arsenal conceded 5 goals since they were beaten at Stoke last September. The first time Wolves have scored 5 since they got 5 against Norwich in the Cup.
A great victory for Wolves against a very, very good Arsenal side. Let's hear what Derek Dougal had to say to Barry Davis after the game.
Oh, Derek, the first question, who said what at half-time?
Well, I think that it was something similar to the game against Derby last week, and Bill McGarry put one or two things right, and I'm certain that through his tactical talk at half-time, we tightened up a little bit and went at them, and it obviously paid dividends the second half.
Went at them, and how? What about David Wagstaff's goal, which equalised Ray Kennedy?
Well, I think that I've been raving about David Wagstaff for 2 years, and I know Sir Alf Ramsey is not one to take much notice of players or professionals. He makes up his own mind, but undoubtedly he's the best orthodox left-winger in the game. And I think that he picked the ball up there, and what a beautiful shot. I think that, well, David does that. He did that against Chelsea last year, and he can hit the ball. Great strike for the ball, very accurate, and Bo Wilson had no chance. And it's a wonderful shot. It's something similar to the first goal of Arsenal's by Ray Kennedy.
Well, we're going to argue about whether you've got 1 or 2 against your name, but let's first of all take the one that you definitely did score. Were you surprised at scoring it the way you did?
No, I do that a lot. I get on the left side quite often, and I just lifted my head a little bit, and I saw Bob Wilson come out a little bit. And I thought, with a little bit of luck here, I've tried that about 200 times this season, and it just sneaked in the far side, and I was delighted, really, because I'm not the strongest kicker of the ball, and I think it just made the line and crossed over.
It left you a bit of a gap there, didn't it?
Yes, just a little bit, but there again, I think that he had to come there and narrow the angle, and it just went across him, and just went into, it just made the far post.
Now, you've already told me I was wrong in my grandstand report, that you got the one that I thought Richard touched.
No, Kenny Hibbett's got he's a great one for bending balls, and it completely went around George Graham as he went up into the air and came around me, and I half hit it, and it hit the deck and shot off there, and John Richard, I think, swung his leg at it, but missed it altogether, and I think it surprised John Richard distracted Bob Wilson there, and went underneath Bob Wilson's hands and threw his legs into the net, so I had to get 2.
Well, you got 2, why didn't you get 3 in that case?
Well, when you reach my age, 26, you know, it's difficult at times, but a lot of people say to me, well, why are you scoring so many goals this year? That's what happens. I'm a very good side, and we've clicked the last 6 or 7 games, and we've been struggling with injuries at the early part of the season, but now the last 3 or 4 games we've settled down now, and it's nice to see an unchanged team. We've only had this twice this year, and I'm certain really that we'll probably strike out and play such good football, and weather like that today, I'm certain it warmed up the whole all the spectators today. It was an exciting game, and I'm certain that the last 2 home matches for us against Derby and Arsenal have been superb games.
Superb game is right. I mean, he paid the right kind of tribute to David Wagstaff, didn't he?
Yeah, David didn't get a great deal of recognition.
Bottom half of the table. And Bobby, perhaps you'll take us through the Wolves team this time.
Yeah, well, still Phil